Welcome to Greenville, North Carolina, land known as the Jungle, and two teams, interstate foes, battling it out. The Charlotte 49ers, who feature 6 top 100 wins this year. They want to take down number 9 East Carolina, an elite pitching staff, top 10 ERA in the country. It could be a low-scoring pitcher's duel this weekend here at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Welcome into the heart of Greenville with the longtime coach Mike Mullis. I'm EvanBudrovich. Charlotte's strikeout numbers are insane. Top 10 strikeout team in the country. And ECU at home, only 1 loss all year. What should we expect from Charlotte and East Carolina this weekend?
You know, who knows what we expect in college baseball, but I think what both staffs are looking for is consistency. Consistency of effort. We talked with Coach Woodard earlier. He says, listen, I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde, but it's a little Jekyll and Hyde. We'll see which team shows up.
This Charlotte program has been challenged this year, but one thing offensively, replacing some key pieces. How about the instant impact of Thad Ector, not only hitting at a high rate, but an elite base stealer, and that's going to be huge for Charlotte this week.
You know, for a team that doesn't steal a lot of bases, 6 is a big number, and Thad Ector, I mean, watching him in and out in pregame, his BP rounds, real toolsy guy, great arm from the outfield, be a lot of fun to watch him all weekend.
East Carolina transfers the counters with an all-AAC standout, Jacob Jenkins-Coward. Not only putting up good numbers this season, but in the last 2 weeks, these are insane. 13-game hit streak. He's put a double-figure RBI. What makes this hitter so special?
You know what, 13-game hit streak kind of speaks volumes for what JJC's doing. We're seeing him drive balls up, into both gaps, using the whole ballpark, and he's locked in right now.
On the offensive end, he's been really good. On the pitching side, maybe one of the best arms in the country. Trey is Savage, 6 wins in his first 7 starts. He was mowing down FAU last weekend.
You know, certainly one of the best pitchers in the country. First-round stuff all over this guy. You know, features a fastball, gets north of 95, and the splitty that's nearly unhittable. Trey Savage is a special guy and is truly a big-time Friday night starter at this level.
If you love elite pitchers in college baseball, this will be a fun arm to watch. 11 Ks against FAU in his last start. And we'll get a taste of Trey Savage when we come back, the reigning pitcher of the week in the American. Good matchup coming up, Charlotte and East Carolina, when we return to Greenville. If you're a fan of elite pitching this weekend, you came to the right place in Greenville. Top 10 ERA in the country, Trey Savage gets the ball for the East Carolina Pirates. Fresh off a great outing, 11 strikeouts against FAU. Mike, what's the biggest challenge as an opposing hitter when you see Savage in the circle?
You know, he is the only thing that typically can beat himself, if that makes any sense. His stuff is just so good, and in that 1 loss, he only allowed 4 earned, so it's not that he's had a blow-up outing. His stuff is truly electric, Ev. I mean, Fastball is great. Splitty is nearly unhittable. It's one of those pitches that you joke about. You can know what's coming, and you still might not have a chance.
Savage is a strikeout machine. 74 Ks in this Grady White Boat offense for Coach Robert Woodard. Keep an eye on Juan Correa, 10 home runs that leads this American Athletic Conference. It's a club that has lost huge power. 30 home run stud from last year has graduated. Really opening doors in this lineup. 7 new starters. This lineup brought to you by Grady White Boats. Keep an eye on Carson Bain, young left fielder who's been a standout in the 7 spot with 8 doubles. A very patient Charlotte offense. Top 25 in the country in walks drawn. They love to work the count.
You know, that's one thing Savage doesn't typically give you an opportunity to do, because as you see here, he'll jump up 0-2, then you got to fight that slider. So as a coach, you have to make a decision. Do we go up there and try to, quote unquote, kind of wait him out, or do we have to work early so we don't have to face his pitch? I think another thing of merit and dictates some of that is Trey has amazing to me, has 74 strikeouts to only 14 walks this year.
And Cam Fisher, the 30 home run threat, one of 4 draftees for Charlotte. 6 signing professional contracts. This is a brand new offense for Coach Woodard. Yeah, just stays inside.
Brand new offense, and quite frankly, opening day or the first day of practice, they had to pass out "Hello, my name is" stickers because they had 31 new guys. So that's that's a tough deal. They're still kind of trying to figure out where everybody belongs.
This is Shane Taylor, the second baseman, fighting one off. The specialty of Savage, only 3 earned runs allowed in conference play. And that combination of Savage and Root, 12 combined wins for East Carolina, half their victories from his starting staff.
And so far you see Savage really trying to just establish the fastball. We haven't seen the splitting nearly as much, and that's you want your elite arm to go out and try to get through the lineup one time through without having to go to his best stuff over and over. Kind of makes it a different look the next time through the lineup. You saw it there for maybe the second time in this at bat. You go to a 3-2 count, but again, Savage's fastball, when he's locating it, it's as hard as anybody's day in the country.
Working a rare 3-2 count. We told you Charlotte leads the American in walks. Very good patience. And Taylor fights off the 3-2. Here's Colby Wallace, the freshman, running out of room down there. On what could be an epic weekend here in Greenville. Shaquille O'Neal's in town.
Right now, as we speak, Shaq is doing what Shaq does over at Doggy Jams in downtown Greenville.
He's entertaining. There's a spring football game. There's a pig cookout and a sellout this weekend here in Greenville. A lot of atmosphere. And Savage misses up, so the leadoff walk here for Charlotte.
Very uncharacteristic leadoff walk for Trey Savage on 10 pitches.
You see Dixon Williams, the second baseman, main starter, Jacob Starling, remains out. He's missed the last 4 games. And then elite speed with Carter and Johnson in this ECU outfield. A traditional lineup there for Coach Cliff Godwin here in year 10. 2 in-state foes that have a lot of ties on their roster, but haven't faced in the regular season in a couple of years, including an electric 2021 regional right here in Greenville. Pirates have won 10 straight meetings in this series. You have to go back to 2017, the last Charlotte victory. And there's the split finger right away.
There it is. Stallman's a guy that this club really leans on heavily to kind of set the tone, and even Coach Woodard described him as the kind of the linebacker mentality of this 49ers baseball program.
The seniors in an 0-2 count. And he goes down looking. Early strikeout for Trey Savage.
Yeah, I think caught Stallman maybe looking for a kind of 0-2 setup fastball and gets the splitty right on the outside part of the plate. Just kind of buckles him. You see there, just
look at the late movement.
Yeah, you see there, he thinks that's going to be fastball up, and that thing drops right to the top of the zone.
Trey Savage, 6 starts this year with 9 or more strikeouts. And he gets a swing and a miss there of Thad Ector. An elite junior college transfer. This Charlotte lineup is littered with incoming talent by way of College of Central Florida. He's had a slow start in AAC play in the conference, hitting just .211. He talked to Coach Woodard this week. He loves Ector's tools. He loves his discipline in the box. He's not been discouraged by the slow start. And one thing we've seen early, Charlotte gets some good swings off you, Savage, in this game.
Yeah, you know, and it's kind of funny we say Ector, 29 hits, hitting 319, but he's a guy that they still know that there's more in the tank for him, and they are. You're exactly right. Get some pretty good hacks on that fastball. I think that shows you what their approach is with Trey.
The Savage elevates, and that's lifted out of play. It's been an anomaly with Ector this year. At home, he's hitting .350, and Charlotte did play 5 of its first 6 series in the Queen City. But on the road, a .260 clip. He'll look to pick that up here in a 1-2 count. One thing, if you're Charlotte, given how deep Savage has gone this year, no start shorter than 4 innings, and that was in game 1. You have to like this pitch count if you're Robert Woodard.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Trey has done to his detriment is throw a lot of pitches early in outings, typically settling in after the first.
This ground ball may help, and the only play there is to first for Dixon Williams. So, man, in scoring position now for Charlotte.
But I remember in that first game, he had about 25 pitches in the first, but I think he had 3 strikeouts, and, it kind of went to 3-2 counts a lot. And that's something that I know they'd like to see him become more efficient to extend the outing. Still, you look at innings, but it's more important what's the pitch count, as you were kind of alluding to. So we've seen him up to 105 pitches this year. I'm sure that, they'll stretch him as far as they feel safe going.
Here is power threat Juan Correa, who was teammates at the junior college level with Thad Ector. He was the MVP of the Junior College World Series and was a major power threat. 22 homers last year at the JUCO ranks. This time he chops one on the ground. And that ends the inning. Trey Savage, a high pitch count, but not much trouble from one of the nation's leaders in ERA as he goes 1 scoreless. Welcome back to Greenville, where Elon transferred. Cole Reynolds, former weekend arm for the Phoenix, now making his Charlotte presence felt. Coming off a 5-inning start at league leaders UTSA, kept his team in it, just 2 runs allowed. And it's interesting, Reynolds was a two-way guy at Elon, a tremendous hitter, but this year is focused solely on pitching, and the numbers have improved.
Yeah, and what they love about Cole is the ability to throw any pitch in any count. So yeah, that changeover to strictly focusing on one discipline, at least to this point, looks like it's paying off for him.
He had a 10 strikeout game and a win over Maryland, one of the top 50 wins for Charlotte this year. And East Carolina's offense, maybe as good as anybody. That's presented by Grady White Boats, and it starts with great power. Carter Cunningham, 8 home runs, and even the catcher Justin Wilcoxon has some pop. You look 1 through 6, maybe one of the toughest outs in the country.
Yeah, it is got a little bit of a murderer's row feel there. Riley Johnson obviously is a spark plug at the top, but Cunningham, Cowart, McChrystal. We saw Carter with a home run earlier in the week, and Wilcoxon kind of round out the real bop there in the top part to the middle of that lineup.
That's all in support of head coach Cliff Godwin, whose club is 15-1 here at home. Really a world beater in conference play here in Greenville. Oh, and that pitch almost hits Johnson to start the game.
I think it's worth this team averages being the 49ers averages 12 strikeouts roughly per 9 innings pitched. So the strikeout numbers are super high. I mean, almost ridiculous.
Robert Woodard, who is so hands-on with the pitching. Of course, he was an All-American at Carolina as an arm, went back as a coach, and spent 5 years on staff under Mike Fox. Now here he guides this young new staff with pitching coach Michael O. And Robert Woodard had so much praise to speak for his young assistant, who was recruited by Coach Woodard at Carolina. They never matched up timeline-wise, but a young mid-20s coach guiding a pitching staff that has plenty of tools, just hasn't figured it out yet.
You know, very similar to what we've got over in the Pirate dugout with Austin Knight, a young guy, kind of up-and-comer. Coach Knight's an old man compared to Coach O, but relatively speaking, a guy that got his opportunity early and has made the most of it.
And a good start for Reynolds there with the strikeout on this gorgeous night in Greenville. These are the nights you capture for Nat Geo, and you got to submit in. Look, amazing.
See here, that's that. I mean, again, Cole's not afraid to throw any pitch in any count. It's not an overpowering kind of velocity look. It's a pitchability left-hander. Velocity's going to be in that 87, 88 range, but that breaking ball is the difference maker for him.
Carter Cunningham takes a big hack and fights one off.
You know, another big thing for this 49er club is they are very analytics driven. They study the numbers, and even in their approach to recruiting, talking to Coach Woodard before the game, I go, man, how do you bring in 31 guys? And there's no way you could see him. He goes, no, listen, we dig deep on what the numbers are and then kind of decide who we want to go watch.
There's Cunningham ripping one down the line. First hit of the game for either team. Yeah, Coach Woodard, a self-described analytics junkie.
Yeah.
And so difficult with the roster turnover. 6 players drafted, but he's found the right pieces.
I think for the Pirates to have success against this left-handed breaking ball, you're going to have to see a lot of this, and that's guys staying with the pitch, being the left-handed hitter, staying with the pitch on that breaking ball and driving it to the other, the opposite field. It's kind of funny. We got a real shifty wind, lots of wind tonight. 1 minute you look out and it's dead out to right. One you look back a few minutes later and it's almost dead in. So that could be part of the story before this thing's all over.
Here is Jacob Jenkins Coward, the draft-eligible, fantastic right fielder for East Carolina. He's in the midst of a 13-game hit streak for the Greensboro product. And it's not just getting on base once or twice a game. It is productive in the middle of Cliff Godwin's order. He's fresh off a 3-hit night Wednesday against Old Dominion. Nearing 200 career hits in a Pirate uniform. As this time he's out in front. There's the third baseman, Stallman, and he's able to communicate with his shortstop, DeFranco, there for the out. We noted Stallman at third. He was the longtime shortstop, just moved over a week prior. And Reed Hare, the true freshman, he's been a neat story earning that job in center field.
Yeah, it's interesting. Only 9 freshmen on this club, and you look at the junior, senior, and graduate makeup. You've got 22, 26 guys on the older scale, and a lot of those guys are first-year guys here. And Coach Woodard makes the comment that he knows when they bring in a transfer that first year could be an acclimation to the speed of the game, to the pace of play, to how things are. Typically, they're coming from a quote-unquote lower level of baseball. So they know that this year's kind of a figured-out year. Next year's when they really expect that all to pay dividends.
It helps having a former Elon weekend starter, Cole Reynolds, on the bump.
No question. It is pretty amazing as you go up and down their roster, just the number of parentheses showing where guys have come from. And some places I'm like, I've never even heard of that. But that just shows you if you're good enough, they'll go find you.
Including tomorrow's starter, Chase Corson, who's from State Fair Community College in the heart of Topeka, Kansas.
There you go.
You go all over the map to find this Charlotte roster. A Charlotte team that pushed Tennessee to the brink of that Clemson region last June. And both these clubs were in region finals a year ago. One in Virginia, one in Clemson. And now a hitter's count to Ryan McChrystal, the DH. The one-out hit for Cunningham over there at first. And a strike will continue the at-bat. Jeff Spizak working behind the plate tonight.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of top of the zone, but but again, I mean, you look at the job by the catcher to present that and kind of leave it out there and let Spizak get a look, and he decides it's good enough.
You can also tell with how bright it is out there, the sunglasses of a catcher. You don't typically see that as there's a walk with 2 outs. That sun down the left field line, it can be murderer's row for a catcher or a right side infielder, at least the next couple of hours.
Next up for the Pirates, left fielder number 5, Bristol Carter.
Now a 2-out chance for an uber talented true freshman, Bristol Carter. He comes by way of Oak Ridge, North Carolina.
When you look out at the defensive alignment for the 49ers, nobody is playing standard, and it is constant shifting just in between pitches. The shortstop moved back to his hand side, back to the hole, about 8 or 10 steps from where he was. And I mean, that's part of the study of the analytics that again, Coach Woodard is prides himself on. That's part of his preparation, part of his team's kind of, again, preparation for series when you're facing anybody, but especially a nationally ranked team in conference.
Coach Woodard really leaning on his top assistant, Toby Bicknell, who has Wingate ties. Those two will spend hours on positioning, alignment. It's nonstop movement here for Charlotte. Runners take off. That pitch is outside, and a good double steal executed by Carter Cunningham.
Again, is there anything more Cliff Godwin than that, right? Double steal with Cunningham being the lead runner. Maybe you think that if Bristol Carter's the lead runner, but Cunningham the lead runner, they catch a rhythm with the pitcher, and high leg kick, not particularly quick in delivering the baseball to the plate, and Cunningham's in there pretty easily.
Stolen base number 39 for this Pirate offense, right behind South Florida for the conference lead. So now a bunt with 2 outs, and Bristol Carter hustles up the line. The ball is dropped, and ECU with some small ball scores first.
So just as I asked if there was anything more Cliff Godwin than that, we see something that's more Cliff Godwin than a double steal with 2 outs. A squeeze play, 2 outs. I mean, again, you kind of – but this is why you do it. You put the pressure on the defense. They've got Bristol Carter dead to rights at first base. The throw gets up the line a little bit, just enough of an interference type, illegal interference situation there where ball gets away from the first baseman and the run scores. That's why you do it.
And we'll see if that's an error or hit, but it is productive here for East Carolina. So now it's Justin Wilcoxon.
And if you're the 49er staff and the players, you're like, okay, we look like we're going to get out of this inning pretty much unscathed. You get the double steal, then right behind that, the bunt, you're down 1-0. That is the frustration of matching up with the Pirates.
Now facing a 6-hole hitter in Wilcoxon, who's riding a 6-game hit streak, but pops this one up into the stars. Stallman runs out of room.
I mean, that literally made the first row of the bleachers behind the netting over there. It was as close as it could possibly be.
And it keeps that fan honest who makes the catch. It's like the videos of the dad who holds the baby and catches the ball in the other hand.
Or the beer, holds the beer and catches the ball. Yeah.
Equally as important.
I mean, depending on where you're at in life.
So instead, an 0-2 count to Wilcoxon. Reynolds misses up, and you see this delayed steal here for ECU. Nothing coming that time from Charlotte. The mind games of Cliff Godwin playing a factor.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that in a lot of it in high school baseball. It's kind of a rarity that you see in the college game. They're not going to make that throw down, and delayed steal and kind of walks into second base, and that's one of those defensive indifference plays.
Fresh off a Wednesday night win, 7-5 over Old Dominion. East Carolina scored 5 of those runs with 2 outs. This time it's a squeeze bunt single to get the scoring started. And now an even count.
Another big part about this, and you get Bristol Carter, who as you said earlier, is an elite runner. Now you've got, base hit scores too, and that really, it's kind of making something out of nothing as it looked like this inning was going for the Pirate offense.
Reynolds misses with his breaking ball. And a late back pick that actually squares McChrystal between the shoulders. Ryan looks to be okay.
Yeah, a little bit interesting here. The home plate umpire shielding his eyes, trying to get a look down there to figure out what happened. This ball hits McChrystal right in the 9, I believe. Yeah, right. I mean, that's right in the center of the 9. That should win you like a stuffed animal or something.
9-ball corner pocket. Instead, a 3-2 count. Wilcoxon takes, and the inning continues. That's what makes this lineup so difficult. They don't end innings. The 2-out at-bats are really good.
Doesn't bother him. That's a really quality at-bat by McChrystal to work himself back into by Wilcoxon to work himself back into that count. Looks like we're going to have a quick visit, and I say quick, or we were already kind of briefed earlier that the 49er staff will take their time on visits. They will allow their bullpen every opportunity. They will do everything they can to kind of change the momentum of the game. But this one looks like it'll break up fairly quickly with a little pat on the back, and hey, let's try to find one out.
It's a Charlotte staff that has 20 games with 10 or more strikeouts. They've lived on the K this year. And even talking to Coach Woodard pregame, he noted sometimes we overemphasize the strikeout and not try to get enough outs in certain counts. So here's a bases-loaded jam for the shortstop, Joey Barini. All of a sudden, Reynolds struggling to find the zone here.
Yeah, and this makes it tough for him. He doesn't want to throw a steady dose of fastballs to this fastball hitting lineup. He'd like to try to get him out with breaking balls, but it looks like he's kind of lost it right this second.
Gets right back with the breaking ball.
Yeah.
"26 pitches for Reynolds, who went 5 innings at conference leader UTSA just last week. It might be a challenge tonight with a heavy dosage here in this first inning.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any analytics that offer you much guidance when your guy's thrown almost 30 pitches in the first.
Barini pops this up. Bain's going to give it chase, and he runs out of room. Trey Savage, a 25-pitch first inning. Both pitchers having to grind through this opening frame. And two teams that are finally reunited in the American. They spent a long time in Conference USA battling it out. And Charlotte's first year in the league, currently 4-5 in the conference. Good breaking ball there to get Barini swinging. And the Pirates strand the bases loaded, not before scoring one in this first inning. Two arms among the nation's best. Just this past week, the Golden Spikes watch list for Player of the Year in college baseball. And between you, Savage and Rue, what a dynamic 1-2 combination here for ECU.
Anybody in the country would love to have those guys going on Friday and Saturday night. That is certain.
Think of some of the big names on that watch list. Jack Caglione of Florida has been prolific, but Savage and Root, not only the win totals, but Savage's ERA just a touch over 1. Of course, Paul Skeens won the award last year, an elite arm for LSU, and Savage having that type of year here for East Carolina. They'll face Noah Furch in the middle of this Charlotte lineup. Furch from Kirkwood Community College. One of a baker's dozen amount of JUCO transfers coming in here for Charlotte.
You know, you had said it earlier, if you just look at the states that they visited to recruit these players, I mean, the frequent flyer miles were ridiculous.
Would be a good Delta Rewards member at that point, or Southwest, or whatever you want to take. I'm more a Frontier guy myself.
16 states represented.
Give a ton of credit here to fifth-year coach Robert Woodard, the reigning tournament champs of Conference USA.
I mean, I think it's a big deal to mention, too, again, and you had said it earlier, but I don't know, 4 draft guys last year in a 20-round draft plus 2 other guys signing pro contracts. That's pretty impressive.
A lot of shoes to replace, and Trey Savage pounds the zone. He'll look to follow in Gavin Williams' footsteps as a high-round pitcher. ECU. Now, Williams did it throwing 98, and with Cheddar, Savage, he's got a lot of different pitches.
Yeah, you know what, but though that fastball there, that's that elite fastball with little arm side action, and it gets up there 95 miles an hour, 94 miles an hour. I mean, that's good stuff. There it is again at 94. You back that up with that splitty, Evan. I mean, again, it makes a long day for the opposing team.
Reed Hare, the talented true freshman, will come in. Not only watching elite arms, we have elite pigskin rolling around. This is the parade of pigs for the pigskin cookout coming up this week here in Greenville. And then the grand hors d'oeuvre dish of a strikeout served up by Savage.
Nicely done there, Ev. I mean, it's hard to go from pigs to punch out, but you.
I'm ready for some pork.
You pulled it off.
Sign me up.
That fastball is just going to be an awful lot for a true freshman. And that's, again, an example of, hey, listen, we know your hitter. Let's go right at him. He's not seen anything like you've got, and we'll save that splitty for him later.
That's part of grand festivities tomorrow. The 39th Pigskin Pickout, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. They'll start barbecuing early in the morning, tailgating a football game, and then a sellout crowd for baseball at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Trey Savage is putting on a prize-winning show himself. A couple of quick outs. And there's the pork that'll be cooked and judged in the next couple hours. The granddaddy of them all. You have the Rose Bowl in Pasadena and the Pigskin Pig Out.
And ironically, the young man there that was receiving his pig is a big-time East Carolina baseball fan, and I know that he's excited, also a grill master. So it's a big deal around here.
The grand entrance. It's not the Queen of England coming to town, but it's just as important. And now a 2-2 count to Caden Hobson, who has to fight off the delicious smells and scents of those pigs and then face someone throwing 95 with a splitter in Trey Savage. Tantalizing stuff.
I mean, that's just sick. 96 down with action. That's just nearly unfair. And again, he's in the bottom of the order. You know, Hobson's only hitting 162, so, you know, again, just dominating with your fastball, work on locating it. Don't need to get real fancy.
After a 25-pitch first inning, Savage has comfortably slid into the second. Hobson, who has fought off multiple starters for the job behind the plate, now works in a 3-2. Able to fight that one off. Reigning second-team All-CUSA.
You know, and reflective in his ability behind the plate as a receiver and handler of the staff is, you know, you'll trade offense for good defense from a catcher, and Hobson has certainly proven that he has earned that opportunity this year, listening to their staff kind of rave about how he manages their pitching staff.
And Hobson had a tough battle. He had to fight off Florida transfer Renee Lastras, who came in with all the highly touted ability, played for a national championship club, but here's Hobson earning that job the last 3 weeks. And fouls another pitch. There's a lot to be said about a returning starter who not only leads his team emotionally, but can put the team on his back during the middle of a conference slate. Now that's pretty cool, I gotta say. Including a hard grounder to first. Trey Savage burying Charlotte this inning, much like you've seen with the pigskin pig out. What a weekend here in Greenville. We got plenty more to talk about and enjoy. The last time these programs met, the Greenville Regional of 2021, it was a big 8th inning for Bryson Worrell and the Pirates coming back from behind, and that actually led to East Carolina dominating its regional, winning all 3 games, and kind of shows you how much this interstate matchup matters to these two programs.
Yeah, kind of neat to have these teams in conference. It kind of gives a little natural feel, and obviously next year as this flips back over to Charlotte, fully expect that the stadium will be rocking with the Pirate faithful.
That was one of 7 regional championships for Cliff Godwin's program, who currently at number 9 in the country, in a great spot to host a region in the next month and a half. Crazy to think we're just over 6 weeks from Selection Monday.
It is truly, I cannot believe how fast it's going by. I literally, the last, when we did the ODU game, I was kind of referring to it as like the midway point, and I go back and look at it, I'm like, no, we have turned the home stretch here. It has been a fast-moving season.
We are far past the midway point of the pigskin pig out, though. Having some ECU football players get involved. For those curious, tomorrow they actually judge and review the cooked meat and the pigs, and we'll give you a little bit of that insight throughout the weekend. Our producer, Kyle Gaskins, must be hungry. Well, there's a lot of food shots today.
Look, with some local knowledge, I'm going to go with Josh Thomas. That was the gentleman that was receiving the pig. That's a big Jungle member, and I'm gonna lay my my bet on him.
Colby Wallace will lead things off. A talented true freshman here for East Carolina.
I tell you what, that's the upside if there is one of the Starling injuries, that they've been able to really get Colby Wallace a lot of meaningful playing time, not just kind of mop up ABs off the bench, but he's really he's involved in games, starting in several games in a row now.
Colby Wallace, who entered in the FAU series for the injured Starling, drove in a couple of runs in Boca. And now looks for his 3rd hit of AAC play. Facing Elon transfer Cole Reynolds. And this ball is laced out to center. This will be a tough run and a nice sliding catch. Reed Hare able to track it down.
There again, true freshman, great play out there. Had a kind of got his doors blown off at the plate, but shows you why he's going to be their everyday center fielder, and he'll figure it out at the plate eventually. Nice play here, run in, little slide and catch, and makes it look easy.
Reed Hare, who's just been inserted in the lineup as late as March 29th. Usually Sutrick, the talented sophomore out there, but they really like what Hare brings defensively, so he's earned the spot the last 2 weeks. That was an area talking to Coach Woodard this week as 9-hole hitter Dixon Williams chats in. Charlotte has made some defensive bugaboos this year. He's cost them runs. And Coach Woodard said if we could just clean it up defensively, we got a really good pitching staff, good offense, but it's been inconsistent on the field.
Yep. And again, Hare's part of that, with putting that speed in center field. And, he looks the part, doesn't he? He's got the eye black and the, kind of speedy guy. And, I could use a little bit of that eye black up here in the press box, but he looks the part, and really good athlete out there, and we're seeing again why he's earned that spot.
having to fill an all-conference center fielder's role from a year ago. 7 starters graduated or drafted for Charlotte. That's a young group on the defensive side. Cole Reynolds working ahead. And Williams fights it off. Dixon Williams, the product of right here in Greenville from D.H. Connolly. I imagine he's been at plenty of those pig cookouts over the years.
Oh yeah, over his lifetime, I feel fairly confident he's seen 1 or 2 spring games and and had some barbecue from down there. They see Coach Houston heading over to partake in the festivities
for the 39th annual Pigskin Pig Out, and Dixon Williams gets hit by the pitch. I'd love to be there back 40 years ago at the very first cook-off. See how it's developed as a young freshman gets hit here.
Yeah, this is one of the more firm fastballs that we've seen tonight from Reynolds, and he just kind of gets away from him, gets up and in on Williams. And, there's some theory behind that. You throw the breaking balls many times as Reynolds likes to, getting that arm slide back right and the release point for the fastball. Sometimes it wants to ride up and in on you, and you saw that there.
So back to the top of this East Carolina order. One of 5 straight hitters hitting 298 or better. And that's why this ECU offense comes in, leading the conference, 8 runs a game. It's not the power numbers of a Georgia or of a Florida, but consistently and on base, it's a tough lineup to get out.
And not stylistically even attempting to be those teams. I mean, we've seen it today, a 2-out squeeze play. We've seen a squeeze and 2-run score, in the past. Again, it is a little more of an up-tempo, we'll do exactly what you think we won't do kind of offense.
An offense that's thrived on 47 doubles. They've nearly stolen 40 bases. And in this first inning, it was a 2-out bunt to score the run. A little different offensively. But it's part of the mantra and the matrix here of a Cliff Godwin offense.
If we go back to the ODU game, in the 7th inning, we saw a 400 hitting Carter Cunningham lay down a bunt, which ended up being a huge play in the game. And, that's the way that this Pirate team is gonna play the game.
Riley Johnson working in a 1-1 count. He will personify the slap hitting, the speed nature, a 450 OBP.
Again, as you look around the defense, the third baseman has to respect the fact that they will lay it down at any time, so it creates some huge holes throughout the infield.
High pitch count here, brewing now, 40 pitches plus for Reynolds.
And that was one Reynolds wanted, but when you've been kind of inconsistent with your location around the zone, the umpire kind of falls into a pattern too. That was a borderline pitch that was called a ball. Had he been a little more consistent throughout this outing, that could have gone the other way.
So now a full count. Reynolds only needed 84 pitches to go through 5 innings at UTSA. A much different story tonight.
Feel fairly confident we'll see some action here. Probably a pick from the mound, but at some point Dixon Williams off. Nope.
Instead, a good swing here from Johnson. That ball's got a chance, and it's out of here. So much for lack of power. The Pirates go yard with the 3rd bomb of the year for Johnson.
What a great swing. Takes a breaking ball down and just kind of golfs it out of the park. Doesn't clear by much. Doesn't threaten the practice football field, but it certainly is a home run and 2 RBIs for the young Riley Johnson. See it there, just break the ball down and in. And that's kind of the hot zone for a lot of left-handed hitters, is that down and in pitch. And he goes down there with it, gets in his legs, and lays the head of the bat on it and drives it out of the ballpark.
That is the right place to hit it tonight. Wind blowing out to right. Not a huge power hitting team, but the Pirates find their stroke.
Riley says, wait a minute, now I do have 3 on the year, so don't give me a little bit of love.
Absolutely. The power's coming in moments.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Now, the real heart of this lineup, Carter Cunningham, Jacob Jenkins Cowart, Ryan McChrystal. That's Riley's first home run. You got to go back a minute now. March 17th against Columbia, who's having an incredible start in the Ivy League, by the way.
You know, Cunningham is one of those guys in this Pirate lineup that can drive a ball out of the park, and we've seen him do it a lot. But, you know, his last at bat is when you know he's locked in, he's driving the ball the other way with authority, which he did his last at bat. If he gets one up in the air here, it could be back-to-back, and we saw 3 home runs in an inning earlier in the week for the Pirates.
As the team now 35 home runs, and Cole Reynolds. This has been an adventure these first 2 innings. Got out of a bases loaded jam in the first. And now nearing 50 pitches. They'll have to throw 50 to complete this at bat.
I think Cunningham was looking all the way there. Because that was kind of a 3-1 fastball center cut.
The payoff. Cunningham gets a good piece and will fight it off. He had a hit earlier today, so now a 9-game hit streak for Carter Cunningham. And he's driven in 12 runs in that stretch. An incredible start to April.
Well, then you look, the guy behind him's got a 13-game hit streak, so, you know, you got to pitch to somebody.
That's the challenge for Elon transfer, Cole Reynolds, who hits Cunningham. Ball 4 regardless, so a man on here with 1 out.
You know, surprisingly no action down in the 49ers pen as of yet. We're going to get another one of these trips.
You might have spoke that into existence there, Mike. Now, I missed the bedazzled beads from earlier from Reynolds. That's a neat look.
See here, just I don't know if that, I think that maybe another one of those fastballs in that it's just kind of release point's not there for him, and it gets him right in the legs.
Wood chipped oven. Get that thing ready to cook up some meat the next couple of days. Tomorrow afternoon is going to be the most delicious and sensational day in the town of Greenville. You will smell pigs and pork all over the place. And maybe a little baseball mixed in. There's Michael O, the pitching coach. Former Carolina arm. Now one of the youngest assistants in the country at 24, guiding his staff.
You know, he's seen baseball at all levels, playing at a junior college himself, then going to Chapel Hill, and then, you know, over here to Charlotte. Coach Woodard just kind of raved about his knowledge, his knowledge for such a young guy.
He said his in-game adjustments to fixing mechanics are next level, and this is kind of the spot he'll need O's expertise. Reynolds has worked a high pitch count. He's facing a dangerous offense in number 9 East Carolina. It's only 3 runs, but it feels like a lot more with this hot start.
Reynolds definitely laboring, and that'll get the Charlotte pen stirring.
I like my pen shaken, not stirring.
Okay.
You always have to have a reference ready with Mike Mullis. I'm EvanBudrovich. Game 1 of this 3-game set. Former CUSA rivals now reuniting here in the American Athletic. A Charlotte team that has 6 top 100 wins, but have been very Jekyll and Hyde this year. You think it's hard to face a top 25 offense. How about carving a pig up on short notice before tomorrow's pigskin pig out? Reynolds in a major jam, and that will not help. A 4-pitch walk. So back-to-back walks now. Which, if you're Charlotte, you'd hate to go to the pen so early in this series, but you might have to consider it now.
No, I don't think there's any question. I mean, it's in the front of their mind, and you know, this was an outing that they thought was going to be a kind of a good matchup with this Pirate club, and facing just Savage, and a lot of excitement for them coming into this, but just not the best stuff tonight for Reynolds.
So Ryan McChrystal will look to continue this inning, where he's hitting .470 with men in scoring position. Big part of his 19 RBI.
Just about hits him.
Well, getting the families involved. You gotta love that. Teaching the next generation how to cook up some pigs. And they're asking, Daddy, when's dinner coming? They're not worried about the process. They want the result.
Reynolds just doesn't have anything tonight that he could find to go to get him into account. I mean, he's fallen. I mean, it's 6 straight balls. Now 2-0 on the very dangerous McChrystal. I mean, he's got to be careful here.
Following the home run, back-to-back walks. And Reynolds is in a bit of trouble now. Able to find it that time. Reynolds in his last 3 starts, he's gone 5 or more innings. Earned a nice win over UTSA, also beat UNC Wilmington. No easy outs tonight. And there's a walk, or pardon me, ball 3.
Yeah. Just cannot find that inner half. Just kind of almost feels like the ball's going around it.
How about 60 pitches, and we're in the 2nd inning.
You know, this is also the time you worry about your defense a little bit. Their legs are getting heavy. They kind of, you know, standing around watching a guy struggle throwing strikes. Ball hit hard could be, could create some interesting action.
So the 3-2 misses outside, and 3 walks to load the bases. Now 5 walks in the game for Reynolds. That's a new season high.
You know, and literally they've got a right-hander that's playing toss, but it just doesn't look like a ton of urgency. You would think this would have been a pretty good time to go to the right-hander with the right-handed hitting Bristol Carter at the plate.
Bristol Carter, who reached on what was ruled an error last inning. A bunt single to beat it out. Now we'll watch yet another miss from Reynolds. He's been all over the zone this inning.
You know, what Coach Woodard really felt like, again, Reynolds was going to get a chance to showcase himself tonight in front of a bunch of pro guys here, because obviously they're in town to see a Savage and Reynolds as well, and he just does not have his command tonight. And I know this is going to be one that stings until he gets his next opportunity.
You can hear this crowd ready to erupt. Number 9 East Carolina. 1 game back of UTSA for first in the league. Which right now, if you're ECU, which makes these series not necessarily sweep or bust, but so important to capitalize on these moments.
Oh, 100%. I mean, in theory, East Carolina's looking up at 2 games with UTSA because they've got to actually have 1 more win in the win column.
This is a slow roller. Opportunity at first, and it gets the 2nd out. But now 4-0 ECU.
Yeah, effectively another bunt for Bristol Carter, though, just of the swinging variety there.
2 RBI that have gone, what, a combined 80 feet?
Maybe. And that may be generous. This is just one that gets in on him. If that's a wood bat, it's broken. Third baseman, not but 1 play there. And RBI in the books.
And all of a sudden, you look up in a 4 spot. East Carolina. Much like Lightning McQueen, here comes pitch 66 for Mr. Reynolds. And for the first time all inning, he works ahead in the count. Wilcoxon the other way, and that's clutch with 2 outs. 1 run in, and station is station for the Pirates here in the 2nd.
Really good piece by Wilcoxon. Falls behind with the first pitch, and he's like, you know, hey, okay, you know, he threw me a strike, and I'm maybe almost surprised, and takes this one, just serves it out there, a little breaking ball again, right through the 6.5, 5.5 hole, whichever one you want to call it, for a clean base hit. Runners on 1st and 3rd now. Still 2 outs.
Make it an 8-game hit streak for Wilcoxon. You look up and down this lineup, it's loaded with guys getting on consistently.
And another 2-out knock and run scored for the Pirates.
as Jorge de Cardenas warms up in the pen, the Jupiter, Florida product. You start to wonder now how long the leash is for Reynolds. Cole's had really good starts in conference play. Now a 1-2 record in the league, but he's held teams to a mid-3 ERA. A little different story tonight. As Barini falls behind 0-2.
I tell you what, the Pirate fan base is still on. I mean, 5-run lead and Reynolds has really struggled, and the Pirate fans still want every pitch. Gotta love it.
That's why these folks are fantastic. 15-1 home record, and Barini pops one up. This will drift out of play. Pirates scored 1 in the first in this 4-run second inning.
On only 3 hits in total.
It was now 45 pitches this second inning, make it 46 and counting. The runner takes second.
He had another effort at the delayed steal.
This has to be challenging now if you're Charlotte defensively.
No question.
So the 1-2 got him swinging. Good job with the slider there to get out of the inning. Not before the Pirates add 4 of their own. And Riley Johnson, not typically a power threat. He finds a little bit of it tonight for his 3rd of the year. Welcome back as Coach Robert Woodard, who was a standout at UNC as a player. And a neat tie here to East Carolina's program. Longtime coach Keith LeClaire, the honorary CUSA Coach of the Year award, and that's what Robert earned in year 2 at Charlotte. A fantastic program. He's won a conference title last season, and this is a coach who knows how to recruit, knows how to develop, and has built a nice program down at Charlotte.
And I'll tell you what, man, he saw it as a player playing at a really good high school program at Myers Park there in Charlotte, and then going to Carolina with, you know, that recruiting class that included Andrew Miller and Daniel Bard, both first-rounders and longtime big leaguers. So he knows what it looks like, been around the best, and Coach Forbes, Coach Jackson, I mean, just the list goes on and on. Time spent at Wilmington. He brings it all to Charlotte, and this program's going on the up and up for sure.
Coach Woodard was a 2-time All-American on 2 national finalist teams. Those were fun years, 06, 07 against Oregon State. There's a swing and a miss as Trey Savage, he is dealing tonight. You do wonder as a pitcher, Mike, how you bounce back from this 30, 35-minute delay.
Yeah, you know, the nice part for you is you got a 5-run lead, right? So it's like, hey, I'm just going to go out here and do my thing. I don't have to try to be quite as fine. Just, you know, throw strikes and let my guys play defense behind me. And I'm obviously very well rested, so it probably negated some of that length of his first inning outing where he, you know, got up into 25 pitches. So,
and then that filthy breaking ball continues a nice start. 4 Ks for you, Savage.
Yeah, it can't be. I mean, we can't overstate how elite your Savage's stuff is.
See, that has the movement of the splitter, but then also has like a curveball type look to it as well.
I mean, it's the Savage.
You're right. They're elite pitches for elite arms. And second in the country in wins as a starting pitcher, Trey Savage. He is dealing. Matt Mateus of Carolina, 11 victories, leads the country. But he's more of a bullpen midweek super utility. This ball's popped up from Dante DeFranco. Jenkins Coward slides and can't make the catch, despite the nice effort.
You know, that's one thing you're going to get from him in right field. And obviously, for those that have followed Jenkins Coward's career and his time here at East Carolina, he is a much improved defensive player, but he's going to chase it all the way to the last second. And we've seen him hit the wall and flip it to the bullpen. We've seen all kinds of stuff. And Jenkins Coward is going to give you everything he's got out there.
Trey Savage is a bulldog, man. He wants the ball right away. He's not going to waste time. Sort of that new age arm that gets the ball and goes right back after.
Yeah, I mean, you got a pitch clock, so you might as well go, right? I mean, there's no need to stall.
He works ahead 1-2 and adds another strikeout. 5 Ks for your Savage. Fresh off an 11 strikeout week versus FAU last Friday.
You'll see it again. It's just the downward tilt on this. I mean, it comes out of the hand looking like it could be that 95, and next thing you know, it just bottoms out. And I mean, these guys are swinging over that pitch by a foot. I mean, it's got just devastating action.
The folks in Greenville call it your Savage Day when Trey takes the mound. Elite Friday night arm. And there's been some fantastic arms. Agnos, Williams, some recent names that have dominated on Fridays.
I don't know that there have ever been two better arms back to back than what we're seeing with your Savage and Root. It's pretty special.
Not only the wins, but the dominant stuff. You bring up a good point. And that's the type of 1-2 arsenal that makes you so dangerous, not only in a conference series, but in a conference tournament or a region.
Yeah, and for any young pitchers that are listening, one of the keys to both of these guys' success is that they don't walk a ton of guys. They go right at you, go right at the strike zone. If you hit it and put it in play, they expect their guys are going to make the play. If you can't make contact, they'll strike you out, but they're going to keep moving.
Just over 50 pitches in 3 efficient innings here for Trey Savage. Adds to it with a backdoor K, and he strikes out the side. One of the best pitchers in the country, cruising through 3 scoreless as his Pirates sport a 5-0 lead.
Every great city has a great university. UNC Charlotte is Charlotte's great university. With nationally ranked academics, game-changing research, and trailblazing students with the grit to change the world. We are Charlotte's great university. Come see what's great only at Charlotte.
Welcome back to Greenville, where number 9 East Carolina may have one of the best resumes in non-conference. Huge series win over UNC, and right now You look at the losses, too. Only 9 combined runs in those close games. A team that's been dominant here at home. They have a top 25 RPI, obviously number 9 ranking. A lot of the boxes are being checked right now for Cliff Godwin.
Yeah, you know, both these teams are really, when you look at the RPI and they're super focused on that. And again, Coach Woodard and I had a chance to talk about it a little bit before the game where, you know, they have to be aware of that. I mean, look at it this way. Charlotte's got this series this weekend, and then Tuesday turn around and they got Clemson. So, you know, you don't put yourself through that if it's for naught.
ECU at number 10 in the country. And Clemson, who's hosting a good NC State squad this weekend. Number 1 RPI, number 2 in the country. And it goes back to the entire region. But right now, 10 to 11 teams in North Carolina all in the top 100 in the RPI standpoint. So who they're playing, who they're beating, et cetera.
And you would see Charlotte being one of those in the top 100. I mean, just inside, but when they play this weekend and then after Charlotte, they'll climb.
That's how these games are so important, not only from a resume standpoint, but you sort of want your opponent to do well on that standpoint too.
Yeah, you know, the probably the downside of the RPI is the fact that you can go down by winning a game if you play a team that doesn't have a very high RPI or if they haven't had a strong schedule. So you shouldn't, you know, in the eyes of a competitor, I shouldn't be penalized for winning, but I guess the penalty is you just don't play that team.
In terms of the final rankings, East Carolina's been in the top 25 in both RPI and record the last 4 years. Here they sit, number 9 in the country, would be in line to host a region if the year ended today. And now the freshman Colby Wallace in a 1-2 count. Off the end of his bat, how about that luck? Dropping one in for a base hit. A well-timed single to start the 3rd inning.
Yeah, big turn there. He was actually looking for 2. Yeah, in tribute to the Masters, that's a little 6-degree wedge. That thing had a little bite on it. Interestingly enough, this is, you know, when you're the pitcher, Reynolds, and you're struggling already, this is the kind of stuff that happens to you, right? It just kind of a fluky off the end of the bat. I make a quality pitch, and the guy just beats me on it. When it rains, it pours.
How about Tiger Woods playing 23 holes today?
I know. Look, I would hate to walk that place for 23 holes.
He set the new Masters record for consecutive cuts. He'll play tomorrow morning. And Dixon Williams lays down a bunt. There's Reynolds all over it for the first out. Even at 5-0, though, Cliff Godwin not afraid to play some small.
Yeah, well, and you know it becomes what you do. It's your DNA, and so the best way to continue to have that as part of your program is to continue to work on it. Dixon Williams, that's not a slight to him. That's the fact that this is the philosophy and the theory that they have. And you see how warmly he's received in the dugout. They know that that's a big deal because that's part of – that is a truly a cornerstone of what they do as an offense.
It's encouraged, absolutely. And that's why this team scores 8 runs a game. It's not bang the ball out of the park, but it's finding ways to score.
You know what, again, it's critically important you get that runner into scoring position, and lots of things can happen. You see here, Riley didn't really have to have a guy in scoring position, although he did, but he took care of itself with a little bolt there over the fence, just enough to count, but a home run nonetheless.
That's been the power. Otherwise, it's been consistent as this bunt has popped up, but Charlotte cannot get to it. Correa was a little off the bag.
Yeah, Riley bunt for a base hit there. You know, the other thing I think we have to understand, or that the fan base has to understand, that a lot of these things are not scripted by the third base coach, be it Coach Galvin, be it any team that you watch. Bunt for base hit is an offensive weapon. A sac bunt is an offensive weapon. So, you know, there are times where these guys will pull the trigger because it's something that you spend lots of time working on those things if they are a fabric of your offense.
And you see Correa playing so far back, it almost invites Riley Johnson to try something. Instead, he goes opposite field in a base hit. A little 1st and 3rd action on 2 bloops in the left field.
Yeah, good piece by Riley, and you're right, Correa was all the way back there. I mean, he had a better chance of catching that ball than he would have if a good bunt was laid down. He was playing so far back, but you see Riley just stays on it, drives it to left field, and basically the same spot that we saw Bristol hit his, but that one had a little something on it, and you got runners on 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and something cooking again for the Pirate offense.
If you're Cliff Godwin, there's a lot of offensive numbers you like, but you have to enjoy how the lineup continues to move throughout the order.
That's right. You know, and again, it's not off the table to see a safety here. It's not off the table to see a hit and run. It's not. I mean, the whole offense is open to you.
Here's Carter Cunningham the reigning AAC hitter of the week. Well, he's done tonight, a single and a walk. He just keeps passing the baton.
You know, interesting to me, they've got the shortstop. There he goes to move. He was playing directly behind second base, and Cunningham's had a lot of success that way.
That time Reynolds challenges Cunningham. Robert Woodard, who spends hours in the analytics book studying tendencies, taking a page out of Joe Madden's book 10 years ago with the Chicago Cubs and the Rays. Always thinking analytics, defensive alignments. Hit by pitches don't help the cause, though, when the bases are loaded.
No, and I am really surprised, again, and I said it, I was surprised to see Reynolds come back out, to be honest with you, and I don't know if it was a, hey, we just can't burn the pen kind of thing tonight and see if you could get us out of, through this inning and into the next. But still, there's some guys moving around in the Charlotte pen, but there's certainly nothing that tells you that there's a high level of urgency by anybody to get ready.
For the Pirates, right fielder number 3, Jacob Jenkins Coward.
You see Reynolds, he's worked deep into games his last 6 starts. That might be on the line right now for Jacob Jenkins Coward.
You know, and it's funny, our definition of deep now, right? It used to be a guy going deep was 7-8 innings. Now, if a college arm could get you through the 5th, that's like a milestone. That's a big outing. And Reynolds has had success living in that kind of length of outing.
Back up the middle. Oh, good snag by the shortstop, DeFranco, and he turns to end it. So the Pirates strand a couple of runners, and Charlotte gets a much-needed 0 as we go to the 4th. Nice defense here from the 49ers to keep this game 5-0. Charlotte and East Carolina meeting for the 40th time, and it's been all ECU. They've won 10 straight matchups now. You go back to 2017, the last Charlotte victory. That was a non-conference game. Now, at least for the foreseeable future, these two will get a bunch of each other. They did meet 4 times in 21, but I like the in-state regional aspect of this rivalry.
No, across the board with all sports, this could be a fun, ongoing, no truly bad blood or no big rivalry kind of feel at this point could develop into that, but really good trips both ways for both fan bases.
Nice stab by Greenville native Dixon Williams there for the first out.
Yeah, Dixon kind of like he took a wrong step early, like he was fooled a little bit and manages to kind of dive back and recover. We'll see it here. He kind of looks like, a little step back to the bag side and goes, wait a minute, it's over there, and corrals and makes the play. Maybe a little foot slip.
Pirates filled it 979 coming in. Top 3rd in the American. And Thad Ector, who has been waiting for his breakout month here in April after a slow March, He's 0 for 1 tonight. That splitter is fantastic.
It is. I don't know. I mean, what other superlative can you throw at it? Whatever you could think of, it's that.
It's tenderloin.
It's whatever. Yeah, it's awesome.
Vector, who gets onto the 480 clip, he's been a major spark plug, but in Robert Woodard's lineup adjustments, Vector's hitting 5 different spots in the order. Now in the 3-hole in the last 2 weeks.
You know, that's kind of indicative of we've seen Cliff Godwin-led teams do the same thing where they're just kind of jockeying guys around trying to figure out what's going to make the offense click. And that's something that again, Coach Woodard told us pregame that is exactly who they are right now, is they are trying to find what makes it work, what makes it go, and what the identity for this particular team's going to be.
This actually ended up being fairly close.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that was interesting that he mentioned, he compared this club to last year's club. He goes, you know, we weren't that much far off of where we are right now. Last year, we figured it out late, got hot, kind of played with a little more nice
what
catch.
An effort
what
into the
catch.
net.
What a catch.
Colby Wallace, he's climbing the wall like Spider-Man.
What a great play. You see him go over there and find that net, and that's the nice part about having netting there. You'll see him scoot over here, long ways to go for him. Ball hangs up, plenty of time. He'll find this net, kind of push it out of the way, create a little more room.
Oh, yeah, the trampoline effect there.
I push that thing out of my way and make this play. But
that's a true freshman banging into the netting. Put it on SportsCenter tonight.
Nice play. But Coach Woodard and staff are not pressing the panic button for where they are right now. Again, they were kind of here last year. They know what this
25
feels.
last year.
They know what this feels like, and they found a way late in the season to kind of get hot and obviously went super deep in that regional, going toe-to-toe with Tennessee and finally losing.
Had to win 5 straight elimination games to win the CUSA tournament. Have brought in double-digit new junior college transfers, including Juan Correa, who's the home run leader in this conference. Takes a healthy swing there.
Yeah, they adopted a moniker, a chip in a chair was their rallying cry last year. I'm sure you could get an interesting or way better definition from them in the dugout as to what that was, but that's what teams do at that time of the year. You see the rally monkeys, you see the baby shark or whatever kind of gets the mojo flowing, and a chip in a chair.
Growing up watching David Eckstein and Tim Salmon with that rally monkey. Brings back some nostalgia 20 years ago. Trey Savage, he continues to deal it. 6 strikeouts tonight. Correa pops one out of play.
That thing snuck through somehow. Must have found a hole in the net, but one of the very few that's up there. And luckily nobody takes that one off the top of the head. You know, Savage, we talk so much about the fastball that we keep raving about the splitter, but this little kind of slider cutter, slutter as they call it, breaking pitch, is one that's been really good for him as well.
And there it is. Whatever you want to call it, it's effective. 7 strikeouts for Trey Savage, and getting some help from his defense here. Watch out, Wall. We got a third baseman coming in to end the inning. Here's what's going on in the American Athletic Conference. It's a really tight race. 3 teams within 1 game of first place. And Trey Savage, we noted, pitcher of the week for his fantastic performance. It's an interesting series now for Charlotte at 4-5 in the league. You want to be in the top 4. That's a great place to be come seeding time. UTSA currently 7-2. And the Roadrunners have the series win over the Pirates. So there's a lot going on this week in the AAC.
Reynolds is back out there, and his next pitch will be his 90th. If this is a staff that back on March 8th at Maryland had 19 strikeouts. I mean, this is not characteristic of the starts that Reynolds has given the 49ers this year.
This staff has 20 games with 10 or more strikeouts. That's in the DNA of this staff. Tonight, obviously, the walks have been an issue. 4 walks, another hit batter, only 3 Ks. And 2 of those to Joey Barini. Oh, that front door sweeper is excellent. I don't know as a lefty how you hang in on that pitch.
No, and I think that's why you've seen some of these guys, so many hit by pitch by the left on left breaking ball. It just doesn't break. It just doesn't bite, and it catches him in the thigh. We've seen it 2 or 3 times tonight.
And Crystal jammed, and he actually hit himself there.
See, that goes back to earlier. The Pirates were having success taking that breaking ball the other way. We saw a couple hits kind of back to back on it, and so Reynolds has kind of tried to move it back in, and it changes your philosophy. You obviously have to be a little more pull-centric on that pitch if you're a left-handed hitter. But it again just hasn't had the bite that he needs it to have had success against his Pirate lineup.
McChrystal out in front of a beautiful sweeper for the punch-out.
Yeah, that was a good one. And if he had that one all night, this outing could look a whole lot different right now. Perfectly located down in the zone. Good action on it.
93 pitches and counting for Cole Reynolds, who earned the win last week against previously 7-1 UTSA. And now Bristol Carter, who's hit 2 balls, a total of maybe 80 feet, maybe 90 if you round up. He's also driven in a couple of runs because of those ground outs. Now he tries the bunt again.
I mean, why not, right? I mean, stay with it. Stay with your strength.
Never stopped Speedy the Roadrunner from testing it, as long as that anvil didn't catch him.
He's had one true bunt, one swinging bunt, and then takes another crack at one there.
Hitting .337 in Bristol Carter's true freshman year. That's a good-looking pitch from Reynolds. A lot of that's due to previous pitches where you miss and don't earn a strike.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's kind of the rhythm of the umpire that we talked about earlier, and almost a reputational ball. I can tell you this, if Bristol Carter could get a bunt past the pitcher, there's absolutely no chance anybody else is going to make a play on it, as the second baseman is nearly playing short center field.
Even Correa's out there on an island. They're daring him to bunt. We'll see here on 3-1. Instead, a walk. So the 5th free pass for Cole Reynolds. They give a ton of credit tonight to Reynolds. I know he hasn't done his best stuff, but he is eating innings and eating pitches tonight for Charlotte.
Yeah, interestingly, he had his own rosin bag. I watched him bring it out there, and then when he went back in after the 45-pitch inning, he took it with him. But they were like, no, we need you to go back out and continue to try to battle and keep us in this thing.
It's not spring cleaning just yet, Mr. Reynolds. You're going to stay out there and get the job done. Wilcoxon, whose RBI single was part of a 4-run second inning. I don't think the umpire was ready to go yet, so he called time.
100th pitch for a strike in the 4th inning.
You'll see that in efficient 9-inning starts from
Yeah,
Trey Savage
really.
or others at times. So now 1-1 count. Runner moving. And Wilcoxon fights it off.
It's down there at the Kona Ice truck, down by the Pirate bullpen.
That is 65. I could have some Kona Ice tonight.
Yeah.
Not too cold. A little Goldilocks, just right. Wilcoxon, the Millbrook product right here in the heart of Raleigh.
There you go. There's actually the Tom's truck, and Kona Ice is down just a bit.
It is a true Shaquille O'Neal commercial. Icy to dull the pain and hot to relax it away. Icy hot.
Can always count on you for those meaningful references. That was
Shaquille O'Neal, who's in town tonight performing here in Greenville.
You brought a lot of things together right there.
I'm a carpenter.
There you
I just weave things together. So Wilcoxon in a 1-2 count. That sweeping slider, when efficient, it's been working. And there's 5 strikeouts for Reynolds.
Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate nature of this game. All of a sudden you find what you've been lacking, and some of it is, you've exhausted a lot of energy, and now you're just out there almost mindlessly pitching. You see the sign, they put it down, you shake it on and deliver, and it's starting to work for him. But so far in this outing, so deep into this outing, I don't know that it'll have a huge difference.
What it has done is survived the bullpen a little bit for Charlotte. One of the best arms, A.J. Wilson, who's an East Carolina transfer. I don't know if we'll see him in this type of score or circumstance, but he is a high-leverage, high-inning reliever. Oh, my goodness. There is a swing at the plate. The way that pitch dies off at the end of the zone. Cliff Godwin putting off real Bob the Builder vibes with that purple helmet. The chiseled beard growing in quite nicely here mid-season.
Do have a right-hander up down in the 49er pen again, but again, nobody's moving. I mean,
there's no hurry. There's no frantic nature for sure.
Not at all.
As Barini sends one out to left. There's Bain with room. And that wraps up the 4th inning. Back-to-back zeros for Cole Reynolds, keeping this 5-0. Here's what's cooking across the country in the top 10. What a nice start for Florida State this year under Link Jarrett. All of a sudden you look up, Clemson at number 2 in the country, East Carolina in the top 10. A lot of good Carolina teams right now, north and south.
And the team to me that is conspicuously missing is Wake Forest, and they've gotten healthy.
They won't be missing for long.
They've gotten healthy, and it's going to be interesting to watch.
Nick Kurtz with 11 home runs in his last 7 games since coming back from injury. And Wake just dominated Boston College tonight. I have a feeling Wake Forest will be right back in the top 10 if they pull off a sweep this week. Trey Savage, who's been dealing since pitch 1 of this game, 7 Ks, only 1 runner's reached base.
You know, he's like a lot of really good arms. If they can get through the first unscathed, they just kind of seem to settle in. And, you know, the first was a little bit bumpy for him by his standards, but we see him settle in, and the 49ers are going to have their hands full the rest of the way.
1-2 count to Noah Furch. He was able to fight one off. And Savage dominance. Not every start is 6 innings, no runs, 11 strikeouts. But what he's done tonight is just keep these Charlotte hitters off balance. They'll work again on 1-2. And there's the strikeout stuff. 8 Ks for Savage.
You know, every time he goes out, you know that he gives you a chance to give you double-digit strikeouts. I mean, he flirts with it very regularly, and there's that just completely filthy splitty, and Furch, not a chance, swings over it, and that one bounces.
He's 5th in the country in strikeouts behind Jamie Arnold of Florida State, and in the top 10 in ERA. I mean, those are a prolific combination. Maybe his breakout start was actually in a loss, not for him, but for the team against Carolina. 6 innings of 1-run baseball.
You know, when you look back at what Savage did last year, I mean, super year last year as a sophomore, had a great season. Has just built on it, made some mechanical adjustments in the offseason, kind of changed his point of address at the plate and cleaned up his kind of path to the plate. He still has a tendency to fall off the first a little bit, but it used to be a much bigger fall off. But it has worked for him. The effort they put in, and I mean the great summer he had with Team USA, all those things culminating in a great junior year.
Working ahead 1-2. And Reed Hare able to fight one off.
You know, last time Savage faced Hare was just a steady dose of fastballs, and it was a pretty quick beating.
Reed Hare, the true freshman from Pro 5 Academy, right in the heart of Raleigh. Takes a very close pitch.
Quality 2-strike pitch, and a great job by Hare laying off.
So Savage back to it. And only his 2nd full ball count of the game tonight. 1 back in the 1st inning, now 1 here in the 5th. Let's see what he has on 3-2, and a walk.
Good at bat by Hare to work his way on. You know, you get a pitcher like Savage who's not used to being in the stretch. You feel like at least it's going to negate a little bit of his stuff. You know, he can't go into his full mechanic, and you know it takes a little bit of the timing out of it, a little bit of the velo off of it. So see if the 49ers can have any success against him out of the stretch.
Caden Hobson watches that ball slip behind Wilcoxon.
He's kind of through the wickets there.
And maybe just the type of break Charlotte needs tonight. The offense still has nothing going.
Yeah, you're right. They desperately just want to get a little something going, and pitching coach Austin Knight's going to make a trip to have a chat with him being Savage, and kind of try to settle him in a little bit here. This is, you know, baseball's such a game of momentum, and this is one of those things where right now, you know, if you had a momentum pendulum, it would be kind of swinging a little bit back towards the Charlotte side, and Coach Knight going out to kind of change the rhythm of the game a little bit and let everything settle. And this is nothing more than that. You'll see him break up. He's heading back now, and with full expectations that his guy will get it done. Nobody toiling at all in the Pirate pen.
Austin Knight's pitching staff has been dynamic. Top 10 in K to walk ratio and whip. Obviously strikeouts right up there. These two starters, Root and Yesavage, are a big part of that, but it's been a big year for the ECU pitching staff. Yesavage has missed the zone the last 5 pitches.
You know, he has, but they've not been egregious misses. The one that would arguably would be the one that kind of didn't bounce and slips through Wilcox's legs, but for the most part, he's around the zone.
Now a 3-0 count to the starting catcher here for Charlotte.
You know, when this is certainly a part of the lineup that you don't want to breathe life into, you've got the bottom of the order, you got a 160 hitter at the plate. These are the guys you want to go right at.
That time he finds it.
You know, but last time Hobson stripped to the plate, he had a great at bat, fought off a bunch of pitches, extended Yesavage a little bit. So
coming up now on 84 pitches for Trey. And issues back-to-back walks, only his 3rd free pass of the game.
Yeah, I don't know that I can remember a time this year that Yesavage has issued back-to-back freebies. This is just a matter of focus. Get it settled back in, and let's go get the next guy.
On a crystal clear night here in Greenville. And now Carson Bain, the Jacksonville, Florida product, steps in. And that ball skips away from Wilcox, and not even close there from Yesavage. As arms start to head out to the bullpen.
Yeah, this is certainly uncharacteristic, and it looks like 45 Danny Bill headed out. That's a ball you feel like it needs to be blocked, and you know that splitty, that's part of that pitch, and this may be exactly what I was talking about earlier. He goes to the stretch, and it changes his delivery timing a little bit, and we've seen him bounce 2 of those pretty short for what we're used to seeing with Trey Yesavage.
Charlotte with a scoring opportunity here in the 5th. 2 walks and a wild pitch. And the breaking ball starts cooking.
Yeah, Carson Bain went at that one with some real aggression, looking to do a little damage.
Reigning AAC pitcher of the week, and a bit of a jam here in the 5th. Gets out of it, at least with 1 big strikeout. 9th K of the night for Trey Yesavage.
Again, just a lot of downhill, right? A lot of downhill, late movement. That's still a firm pitch. That's not a pitch that's being thrown at 72 miles an hour. That thing's got some fur on it. And, you know, it's coming in there at 82, 84. Hard pitch to hit.
Here's Dante DeFranco. Another run-scoring chance here for Charlotte. Dante has emerged as the starting shortstop in the last 2 weeks. Has just 2 hits in the month of April. Charlotte really likes his defensive presence, the senior out of Hillsborough. Now he shows off the bat and the diving catch. Joey Barini robs a couple of runs and keeps the zeros coming for Trey Yesavage. Tremendous defense from the Pirates, keeping Yesavage off the scoreboard and preserving a 5-run lead. Cliff Godwin in year 10 searching for another regular season conference title in the American. His team is one game back of UTSA, and all of a sudden now East Carolina playing their best baseball at the right time. Fresh off a series win over FAU, 2 dominant midweek victories, and certainly the point of emphasis this weekend was playing well in this series and gearing up for a tough stretch with William & Mary and Wichita State the next week.
Yeah, you know, a 5-game run here, with 2 midweek games and then the 3-game series this weekend. And I mean, this is one of those grinder weeks where you just kind of attack it 1 game at a time and put your best foot forward.
George DeCardenas comes out of the Charlotte bullpen. So the night is done for Cole Reynolds, who grinded his way through it, but actually keeps Charlotte in the game. 4 innings of 5-run ball. And Colby Wallace, who made a nice catch an inning ago, will help out this ECU lineup. Cardenas, who last year was not part of the pitching arsenal, has come in via the transfer options. Wallace goes the other way and smokes a base hit in the corner. Colby Wallace with his 10th career hit in a Pirate uniform, and he wants 3. Wallace has all the wheels for a triple.
You know, when you get a ball down in that corner, Ev, I mean, it's 3 out of the box, and we've seen that. I mean, obviously the Pirates know that. They play here every day, and that ball's, you know, kind of inside out and slicing hard back to the corner, and the right fielder was playing more towards the scoreboard as opposed to a true right field. Never a doubt for the freshman Wallace. Ball kicks over there in the corner, you'll see it, and there's no way. I mean, look, great arm out in right field. Ain't gonna throw a guy out at third base, even with a tandem relay from out there. That's a good piece of hit by Colby Wallace.
Runner at third, and that pitch stays down. Now the infield is in for Charlotte. You get a sense of how important these next few pitches are.
You know what, I would be willing to bet you there is something on Robert Woodard's analytics play card down there that says, here's the number you have to stay below to have a chance to play with these Pirates.
An East Carolina team, if you're going to beat them, 7 of the 9 losses by 1 run or 2 runs. It's been hard to pull away from the Pirates. Here's a line drive base hit. Hare couldn't squeeze it on the dive, and it's 6-0 East Carolina.
Let me tell you something. Hare is very fortunate that he got some glove on that ball, or you could have had Dixon Williams standing at third base. Dixon stays on this ball, drives it up the middle, spoke line drive. Hare kind of late, stuck between diving and not diving, does dive eventually, and you see he barely keeps that ball in front of him. The left fielder's not even in frame yet. That ball would have clearly gotten to the wall, bounced around a little bit. But nice play by Hare to keep it in front of him. Good piece of hitting by Dixon Williams to drive in a run.
Now it's Riley Johnson's turn. And he goes back up the middle. Good snag at short and a double play. Nice effort from DeFranco there.
That positioning, you know, they study these charts, and that's the second one that we've seen double play turn, ball hit right at the shortstop, takes it himself, and DeFranco's like, that's as easy as it gets.
Now it's Carter Cunningham's turn.
I will tell you, I was a little bit surprised there, Dixon Williams on top of the order, that you didn't see Riley Johnson, who bunting is a big part of his game. I was kind of surprised that you didn't see a little bit more cat and mouse there to try to get Dixon Williams in the scoring position for Carter Cunningham and Jenkins Coward, you know. But hey, take a shot at it and hit it right at the guy. He hit the ball hard, nothing you can do about it, and he turns the easy double play.
This middle of the East Carolina lineup has been a murderer's row for opposing pitchers this year. The middle third have reached base 6 different times, and we're only in the 5th inning as Cunningham sprays one out of play.
Tell you what, DeCardenas 92-93, and that's a lively fastball. It's got really good arm side run, and you know, stuff looks good.
So does the weather tonight. Fantastic atmosphere here in Greenville. DeCardenas, who's recorded only 1 out in his last 2 outings against Campbell and UTSA. So on 3-1, He misses the zone.
You know, and that's what you can't do. Your defense just bails you out, turns a nice double play, and then you promptly walk the next guy to bring a guy to the plate with a 13-game hit streak.
And a hitter who's been held in check tonight, 0 for 2 for Jacob Jenkins Coward, whose hit streak began at the end of March. His average has actually dropped a few points in this streak, but he's still outstanding. 353 in the heart of the Pirate order. Fooled there by the breaking ball.
Yeah, if there's a knock offensively on JJC, it is his aggression and his feeling that he can hit any pitch. And it's, you know, that's a first pitch breaking ball. It's one you want to see a little sooner and maybe let that one go. That it looked like it could have been ball one, which flips the count. Now Cardenas would have to be a little more fastball oriented, but we'll see what he does with his next 2 strikes.
That roller goes foul. The junior all-conference standout, Jacob Jenkins Coward. And Cardenas, nice slider there for the punch out to end the inning. One more run for East Carolina on the RBI single from Dixon Williams. Trey Savage has been dominant tonight. 9 strikeouts and 5 scoreless.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff's been good. The biggest surprise to me is the back-to-back walks we saw in the last inning, 3 walks on the night. I mean, it's kind of an amazing number when he's only got 17 on the season. But, yeah, overall, been what you thought he would be, right? A little bit rough last inning, but overall, he's been good. I mean, this stuff is electric.
One of the best pitchers in the country. Not slowing down at all tonight. Ended this game 6-1. He'll now face Shane Taylor in the bottom half of the Charlotte lineup. Last inning we saw a bit of pitch control issues for you, Savage. A couple of walks mixed in. And so far through 5 innings, he's been untouchable tonight, Mike.
Yeah, you know, and his next strikeout will be his 10th on the outing.
Lone runners to reach base via the walk tonight. Joey Brainy, of course, robbed a couple of runs last inning with a 2-out diving catch.
You just don't see this out of you, Savage. Just, I mean, literally almost struggling to find the strike zone.
So it works here at 3-1. That time he dots it up.
Yeah. You know, and this is one of those deals, you got a 6-run lead. Again, let's, fill it up. You don't have to be quite as fine.
Now, why so upset, young man? You're seeing one of the best pitchers in college baseball. Probably didn't get his candy or needed a nap.
It's getting late for the little guys.
Two in-state foes meeting for the first time in 3 years. And now the 3-2. Right down the middle. A solid 10 punch-outs for Trey Savage.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. It just rears back, comes with the fastball, locates it down, but not trying to be too fine left and right. Just kind of drills this one right down the middle.
That's the 5th start for Savage with 10+. Fresh off an 11 strikeout performance. And he's throwing off filthy breaking balls. His season high is 11, so he's in striking distance. And now it's Brandon Stallman. It almost looks like that previous strikeout reinvigorated Savage.
Yeah, he actually picked up the pace a little bit here.
The pitcher who traditionally works quick. And he's cruising tonight here in the 6th.
He just crested that magic 100-pitch number, so I would imagine that this will start to wind down his outing if he can get through this inning.
Got him with the breaking ball, 2-2 versus team veteran and leader Brandon Stallman, one of 3 returning starters for the 49ers. He's playing in his 95th career game tonight. And Trey Savage has been untouchable in the box.
Stallman's already been a strikeout victim once tonight. Fighting hard to prevent it from happening again, and it looks like the Pirate pen will be ready when needed.
Savage on 3-2. 11 strikeouts, and that splitter is darn right filthy.
Yeah, I mean, that pitch had a little backup action on it, including the downward plane. I mean, this is you're right. This is filthy. This thing just kind of has a double plane, 2-plane break there, and that's going to be hard to hit. And boy, if he can match that thing up there every time, that's going to be really tough on lefties.
So left-handed standout Thad Ector. Charlotte still searching for offense tonight. They stranded 2 last inning, but not much else. And those strikeouts are adding up quickly. What happens if you get 5 more strikeouts? Where do you put the next bunch?
Well, it runs across the bottom too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You slide it across.
I just wonder how many K boards they have out there. I would assume that they would have had the foresight. I guess it would be possible that somebody could strike out 27.
Just a Kerry Wood type of story. 20 plus.
I don't know what you.
How you pack them all for the night. Hector takes a changeup for a strike. One of the best pitchers in college baseball, searching for 3 up, 3 down. And he has it. A dozen Ks for Trey Savage. This dude is a savage on the bump.
Wow, that was pretty impressive.
6 innings of no-hit baseball for Trey Savage as he continues to dominate. Welcome back to Greenville. East Carolina, number 9 team in the country, riding a 6-inning brilliant start from Trey Savage, whose night looks to be over. Right now, the bat's helping out the cause. 2 RBI here for Bristol Carter. A couple of infield groundouts. That's been the difference. And yet ECU is stranded 9 on the bases. This could easily be a 10, 11-run game if not for a solid start for Cole Reynolds.
Good pitch there by DeCardenas to McChrystal, who likes that wind. That wind is now shifted and headed out to right a little bit.
George DeCardenas coming in, and McChrystal fights one off. Think of the starting pitch for Trey Savage this year. Entered this game top 10 in the ERA, number 5 in strikeouts, and he goes 6 innings of no-hit baseball. Double-figure Ks mixed in, too. Crystal, a couple of walks tonight. He's been a good table setter, and at his 3rd walk right there.
There's another one. You maybe see him be lifted for a pinch runner here. It looks like they're going to bring maybe Chrisman out to pinch run.
And this summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. Reynolds had some walk issues, and that may have been his undoing, but Trey Savage, 12 Ks, fantastic, and not the player you had on your bingo card, but Riley Johnson with his 3rd homer of the year, part of a 4-run 2nd inning.
Yeah, great outing by Savage. And the funny part is it had some ups and downs, right? It kind of a little bumpy early, then he cruised for a little bit, and then even in the last couple innings, it felt like it maybe got off course, but he found that last inning was electric, and that's actually Luke Nowak in at first base.
So Nowak in to run, and Carter having to olay the pitch. Bunt attempts in all 4 at-bats for Bristol Carter, who's a Swiss Army knife in the eyes of his head coach, Cliff Godwin. That hurts my hamstrings just watching that. This time Carter gets it down, and Cardenas only played to first.
He had no chance you even take a look at the speedy Nowak there, and that was a quality bunt fielded by the pitcher, and Bristol Carter again does his job.
You can tell East Carolina playing for runs and maybe circumstantial here, up 6-0. Remember, the run rule is now a factor in the American Conference. Magic number 10. Wilcoxon on the ground. Difficult play, and it sneaks past DeFranco, so everyone's safe.
Yeah, that was a really tough play. The only chance they had is the fact that that's Wilcoxon running. I mean, he's one of the closer to average, or to even he's a catcher. Runs good for a catcher, but catchers we're just all not super fleet of foot. But tough chance by the shortstop, and ball bounces away from it. Really little to no chance on that one.
Coming to the plate for the Pirates, shortstop number 8.
That's actually rolled an infield single, and I sort of agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be a hard play to make. So Joey Baraney, who looks to get his back going, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts now in. He tries the squeeze bunt, and the toss is late.
Yep,
Luke Nowak in to score on the squeeze bunt.
Again, I mean, elite speed at third base and Nowak, and that bunt isn't necessarily perfect. Really good job by the pitcher to bounce off the mound and field it. Not but one play he's got here if he's going to take a shot at the plate, and that's the little shovel backhand. But you'll see Nowak in just before the tag gets there.
And that's hard backhanded to keep it
tough
firm.
Play. Tough
play.
Right,
because you want to put that on a missile to the catcher.
Especially, you got a guy running like Nowak.
So Cliff Godwin being aggressive, 7-0 lead.
Yeah, no need to review that one.
Here's Colby Wallace. Wallace takes a big swing. He collected a triple his last time up, so now 2 for 3.
you know, Wallace getting these at-bats and his playing time is just it's a huge win for the Pirates from the standpoint of building that depth out as they, you know, look to make a postseason run. And especially from the standpoint of a right-handed bat, which is it's kind of weird. Most places you're looking for great left-handed hitters. East Carolina's got a ton of those guys. It's nice to have a right-hander to give them a different look.
Jacob Starling, senior second baseman, been out the last week and a half with a hamstring issue. So Wallace on 1-1. Seven runs, 9 hits, and yet the Pirates have stranded 9. It's not been a perfect night offensively, but they've certainly found production. All the support that Trace Savage has needed tonight, as his night certainly looks to be over. 6 innings, 12 strikeouts.
Let's see if Coach Godwin has the confidence to put the guys in motion, even 1 out, full count, with the freshman at the plate.
Now the payoff to Colby Wallace. Runners hold and a walk loads the bases. So Wallace has been on 3 times tonight. Had one of his best games as a freshman in his ECU career. And now bullpen arms ready for Charlotte.
Yeah, again, like we've talked about, this is kind of one of their deals where they kind of take advantage of the opportunities to go out and slow things down a little bit and give their pen a chance. And this may be one where as soon as they get the sign for the bullpen, you may see Coach Woodard bounce out and come out and make a change. No, it looks like they're going to stay pat here.
So here's Dixon Williams. Lefty is ready in the pen just in case. There's Mr. Spallier, Andrew Spallier warming up. Williams was hit by a pitch, then he squeeze bunted a run in. That's Cliff Godwin MO tonight. 4 sacrifice bunts. And also singled. Takes a big swing there.
Yeah. Boy, he was thinking, sitting dead red fastball there, thinking.
He was thinking 11-0.
Yeah, that's
that type
exactly
of
what he was
swing.
after.
On a night where there's been just 1 home run, a solo shot from arguably the most diminutive player in the lineup, Riley Johnson. See that manager? He went dead sprint.
Oh, yeah, listen, that is the culture of hustle runs through every part of this program. I mean, they take that stuff seriously.
Instead, Keenan Bauman beat him down for the ball. So now the at-bat continues. And Williams takes a huge swing deep into the night, and it's off the wall. That'll bring in 2 for East Carolina. And within inches of a grand slam for the Greenville native.
Yeah, that's a line drive off the base of the wall by Dixon Williams. Really good swing there. We'd mentioned earlier it looked like he was trying to make it 11-0. Manages to make it 9-0 by driving this ball off the Pirates Brew sign out there just below the scoreboard in right center field. 2-strike swing, too. That's a good piece there by Dixon. You'll see it carries out there and just carrying right off the bottom of the W.
Not much. Didn't miss it by much.
No, a pretty nice play there by the center fielder to play that ball on the bounce and get it in to keep another run from scoring. So that'll make it 9-0.
A pitching change here for Charlotte. So we'll take the timeout. New arm coming in for the 49ers. Number 9, East Carolina up 9 as the Niners make a change. Orlando, Florida native Andrew Spoiler comes in for Charlotte. That's a tough spot here. 9-0 game. You're essentially pitching to extend the night if you're the 49ers. Last year, a 5.2 ERA in his junior year out of the pen, and has not pitched since Tuesday through against NC&T. This is a difficult spot regardless of the score.
Yeah, it is, and it's, you know, the value in this is a couple things for Spoiler. Number one, try to keep your team right here. You know, give your team a chance to at least extend the game, like you said. Number two, he gets a chance to prove to Coach Woodard that, you know, that he proof here
put him in some leverage spots.
Proof here for future opportunities. You know, if he go out and have a good outing, next time a situation rolls around that might not be a 9-0 game, the conversation will circle back to Spoiler's outing if he can have a good one here today. So a lot on the line for him, more than maybe the score indicates.
Spoiler, who was a high leverage arm against Virginia Tech and West Virginia to start the year. He went 3 innings plus in both. He's been more situational in the last month, and now this is the big situation of the game. In a 9-0 spot, that runner at third is huge if you're East Carolina. And here's Riley Johnson. That ball sneaks away, and the Pirates are up 10.
And Dixon Williams with a big turn down there, looking for another one if he could get it. This first pitch from Spoiler just gets away from him, away from the catcher, and carries back to the worst place. Catcher couldn't quite find it. So
yeah, and Hobson's so set up inside that pitch kind
all the way across
sneaks past him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's inside. He reaches away and the ball hits. It comes back to the inside side. Just a tough break there for Spoiler.
You have to be like a crab almost to corral that ball.
I don't know what you do on that.
I don't know if the body contorts that way. Defense remains in for Johnson. 2-0 count.
Very similar pitch there.
Big error by the shortstop DeFranco. Pardon me, they ruled it a hit, but a play he could have made has helped manufacture this inning.
You know, and ironically, that was another thing that was mentioned before the game, is that this 49er defense, and that's a prime example. That goes against as an earned run. Probably could have gone either way, but it goes as a hit. It builds into the earned run stat, which makes the pitcher stats look a little worse than they actually are. Coach Woodard was saying that's something they've got to get better at.
How about the hands there from Coach Palumbo at first base?
Nobody better.
Tip of the cap.
Multi-sport athlete, still got it. You watch him out there taking ground balls with the guys before the game, he's almost as good as anybody they've got.
On a long hop like this?
You see it, nothing to it, yep. Now, he would tell his guys, you got to go get the good one. He took the short hop but made it look easy.
So a 2-2 count. And Johnson off his hands, uncorks himself on the swing. I don't know if there's a prototypical body type for an East Carolina hitter, but this kind of resembles a Lane Hoover-esque, the way he swings the bat.
There's been a lot. I mean, look, this takes me back to Jamie Page, and I mean, this goes back decades of having these guys, Ben Sanderson, these guys that are not the tallest guys in the world, but boy, they play the game hard, play the game the right way.
So Johnson now in a full count. Certainly helps when you're getting on at a 450 clip at the top of a Cliff Godwin lineup.
You know, when coming out of the fall, it was still a question mark as to how much he would be able to contribute with the, constant nagging shoulder injuries. And Bristol Carter had gotten a lot of time at center, but he has been a guy for him for sure.
Here comes Ector to make the catch. Cliff Godwin going to test the arm of Thad Ector, and it's offline. So 11-0 East Carolina.
That was one thing I noticed with Ector in pregame. Man, he's got a great arm. That ball's just up the line a little bit, and doesn't really get himself in a great throwing position out of the gate. As you'll watch this pop-up sac fly from Riley Johnson, you see Ector coming in hard on it,
he kind of catches it flat-footed.
Doesn't really get himself in a great throwing position, but plenty of arm strength just up the line. And again, Dixon Williams, another one of those Pirates that can really run.
So Carter Cunningham pops this up. Left fielder called it late. Shortstop hangs on to it. So DeFranco ends it. We go to the 7th. East Carolina 3 outs away from a run rule victory. This game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. What a performance from Trey Savage. 6 innings of no-hit baseball. 12 Ks certainly helpful to his cause, and the offense has come alive late. Dixon Williams with 3 RBI tonight. Nice double off the wall last inning. And now in an 11-0 game. Run rule is a factor here in the American Athletic this season. So out goes Savage after 108 pitches, and in comes Jackson DiLorenzo. Essentially a save situation now if you're East Carolina. 7th outing of the year for the freshman, looking to put this game on ice.
Yeah, and we had seen DiLorenzo have some pretty meaningful innings early, and it kind of had fallen off the radar of a lot of fans, and the question became, and I was one that asked, has he been banged up a little bit? But anyway, you get the freshman back out there, and I kind of describe him as the Bartolo Colon body kind of, and again, a lot of the Pirate Nation remembers the Corey Scott body type, the kind of husky, come right at you guy. But we'll see what DiLorenzo can do here with this lineup.
The home run leader in the conference, Juan Correa, will lead things off.
That's just what you want. Bring your freshman in to face a guy that's got 10 jacks and the wind's blowing out. Maybe a little more across right now.
0 for 2 tonight. Correa, who hit 22 homers at the JUCO ranks last year, gets a good swing there. DiLorenzo, to your point, ending scoreless against Elon. That was back on March 19th, though, not the previous Elon game on Tuesday. Good use of the breaking pitch.
Yeah, and that's definitely not something he's really known for. It's the fastball, and the fastball is kind of a riding fastball. Sits, 89 to 92, and nice little sharp slider there. There it is again.
This will be 4, 5, 6 in the Charlotte order. And what a performance by Savage. He strikes out 4 of his final 5 and was dominant in that 6th inning.
And it was funny again. He kind of had some ups and downs actually inside of innings, but man, managed, and the stuff was really good. And yeah, another quality outing. Again, it's very much what you expect every time Savage takes them out.
He's in line for his 7th win of the year. That would be tied for the best among any starter in college baseball. 7 of the first 8 weeks. Hard to believe. Here we are. DiLorenzo working 2-2. Tomorrow, Zach Root will get the ball, and he has yet to lose. 4-0 on the mound. And he'll take on Carson for Charlotte. Kason Carson. Nice battle here from Correa. Fans haven't picked up the memo. The DJ is saying clap the hands.
Yeah.
How low can you go, Mike?
Well, this is about it. I can sit down.
Can you go down low? As DiLorenzo hits the bottom of the zone.
It's a good spot. Really good spot there. 3-2 pitch and froze up the big bat.
Coming up tomorrow, the 39th annual Pigskin Pig Out. We showed you all night some of the cooking competitions lead up to the spring game, and Petey's birthday, the mascot, the Pirate, will be celebrating tomorrow at 11. Of course, the game at 4 o'clock, and expect plenty of good barbecue here in Greenville tomorrow.
Yep, pinch hitter A.J. Bianchino.
Tomorrow is a sellout, and it's the first time in the Clark LeClaire modern era, the large ballpark. Expect nearly 6,000 here in attendance. It'll be an excellent atmosphere for a conference matchup.
Yeah, we see those sellouts when you have the Carolinas, the states, and the regionals, the super regionals. But a conference game with UNC Charlotte on a Saturday afternoon sellout is pretty cool.
There's a slow roller, and Williams scoops it up. 1 out away from the combined no-hitter.
And fans, I want you to remember that Evan said that.
I'm just reporting the facts.
I know you are reporting the facts. That's right. That's why you are the fact guy and I am the color guy. Yeah, that sent
gave you shivers.
Shivers down my spine.
Run rule is a factor this year in the American Athletic Conference. So Charlotte down to its final out here in the 7th, and in comes Reed Hare.
Dixon Williams with his best Jeff Palumbo impersonation out there. Very similar play to what we saw.
Well, Coach, I saw you take the long hop as Hare smokes one out to right. Jenkins Cowart on the move, and he has room. For the second time this week, the Pirates complete a no-hitter. This time it's a conference-dominating fashion and an 11-0 shutout.
I mean, how many teams in the country could say they've had 2 combined no-hitters in 7-inning games in the same week, in addition to 1 inning with 3 home runs, and maybe the most impressive thing is Riley Johnson hits a home run tonight. So, I mean, it's everything's heading the right direction for the Pirates. Great win, great outing by Savage, good all-around game.
First time since '89 the Pirates have thrown 2 no-hitters, and within 5 days in '89, and basically within 4 days here this year.
Yeah, so hold on, let's get that right. Let's go. That's incredible. In 1989, they had 2 combined no-hitters within 5 days of each other, and in 2024, we have 2 combined no-hitters within 4 days of each other. That is, wow, that's crazy. And baseball gives you those kind of stats that you're like, I mean, it's just, it's wild. It's great. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty nice job by the research staff.
A record 25 years in the making. Trey Savage, that man was dominant. 12 strikeouts in the win. And East Carolina holds home turf, moving to 7-3 in the AAC. Savage was darn right brilliant. A combined no-hitter for the Pirates tonight, who got enough offense as well. 11 runs, including that Riley Johnson homer. For Mike Mullis and our talented crew, enjoy the Pigskin Pig Out tomorrow. I'm Evan Budrovich. This is a presentation of ESPN as the Pirates roll in Game 1.